So my name is Dr. Jerry Johnson. I'm a professor of biology and biochemistry here at UH Downtown, and I am the Faculty Senate President-elect for next year. So I'm happy to, thank you. Happy to serve. After watching Krista and Bernardo go through this, I am gonna go cry at home for a little while and then figure out what to do next. But I just kind of want to set the stage while we wait for President Blanchard to come down. You know, one thing about being a faculty member is sometimes it can be pretty lonely. You can get wrapped up in the whirlwind of the semester where you are moving from class to class, committee to committee, and you're focusing on your research. And sometimes you don't have an opportunity to stop and take a breath, to appreciate the individuals that you have working around you, or just enjoying time with your colleagues. So this is an important event every year where we get to stop and take that breath and actually realize how phenomenal all of our colleagues are here at UHD. I've always been impressed by the quality of work and the dedication that UHD faculty show, especially to our students. And being able to listen to the accomplishments of faculty is inspiring. It makes me want to do better at my daily job. And it's just nice to be able to say that was amazing and to realize that we all should be striving to do better tomorrow. So with that, I'm glad that all of you were able to show up. I hope you have a chance to enjoy some food, but more importantly, the company that you're keeping, and to celebrate the accomplishments of our colleagues. So right now, I'd like to introduce the president of the University of Houston Downtown, Dr. Lauren Blanchard.
Thank you so much, Dr. Johnson, and thanks to all of you for being here for this event. It's always special to me each year to come and participate in the award ceremony for our faculty, largely because of what you just heard Dr. Johnson mention. It really is about the accomplishments of our faculty members, represented by those who have been nominated and who will receive the awards. But more generally, it's an opportunity for us to really celebrate the great successes of our faculty members more writ large. I really enjoy the opportunity each year because it really is a focus on the results of our faculty. What's happening, certainly not only with respect to teaching, service, as well as scholarship, but the impact that that has for the longer run. And so part of that is that when we're looking at it, we're talking about the results of the efforts of that are seen in the thousands of students who will complete another successful semester, and the 1,600 that we know that we'll be completing next month. The results of your efforts is seen also by faculty through the mobility of our alumni, including our most recent graduates who are making a great difference in the city, state, and nation. And the results really can also be seen very largely in UHD's success as a diverse university with a competitive student experience. And let me let you know that I hear about those experiences from our students all the time, especially as it relates to faculty who are going the extra mile and spending time directly with students to make sure that they're getting the knowledge that they need. But they also talk a whole lot about the service learning component and internship component that they say without the faculty members that there would be no opportunity for this to occur. So today really is more than just choosing nominees and, more importantly, awarding these great faculty members who are highly accomplished that we're going to hear about very shortly. We know that it's also representative of all of the work that's intentionally being done to transform educational opportunities for our students so that when they leave here, they really will be the next set of leaders that we expect them to be. I'm proud of all of the achievements that's made by faculty. I want to be clear about the fact that every faculty member matters tremendously to this university, that student success to me is the equivalence of faculty excellence, and vice versa, and that they are not separated. They are part and parcel of one another. And as we celebrate our 50 years of excellence in higher education, I want you to know that I certainly believe that the best is still yet to come for this university, simply because of one individual person, but because we are all here and because we together, we're forging an institution of choice dedicated to our great city of Houston, and more importantly, dedicated to our students and to one another. So I look forward to listening to the results. And as I say each time, that this is my third time coming to this event, that all faculty members are winners. And although they might not necessarily feel that way when one person's name is called, but we're really excited about the fact of knowing that we are encircled by the very best faculty who really are dedicated to this university. So I'll turn it over now to Dr. Johnson.
Thank you, Dr. Blanchard. All right, two things before I turn it over to Dr. Pohl, so I just want to make sure we all get this right. First, it goes without saying that we need to thank a few people who made this happen. I want to do this now so I don't forget it at the end. First, Miss Emily Leffler and Miss Darlene Hodge in the Provost's office. I know this is not the easiest event to pull off, and I really respect the dedication, time, and effort they put into this. And before you get a chance to leave, you should give each of them a thanks. Also, Dr. Judith Quander and Dr. Deborah Bordelon, I know you have a hand in this as well. All right, so without further ado, I'd like to introduce our current Faculty Senate President, Dr. Bernardo Pohl. I want to thank him before he comes up. I have seen him tackle this job courageously throughout the academic year. It is not an easy job trying to manage everything that goes on with the Senate presidency, so I have a lot of admiration for the job you did this year, and I want to thank you for your service. And by all means, please come up and give us a report of the Senate.
Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you, everybody, for coming here. This is one of the most special occasions of the year, and I'm always looking forward to. I'm not gonna lie, I write 2 pages and probably I'm gonna say 2 words out of this, like always. Okay, so good afternoon, everybody. President Blanchard, Provost Bordelon, President-elect Johnson, Past President Guerin, AVPs, VPs, senators, faculty, staff, distinguished guests. It is an honor to address the Faculty Assembly and provide the Senate report during this special occasion where we're celebrating the wonderful accomplishment of all the staff, of all the faculty. So thank you. I want to start by thanking the people responsible for putting all this together, Ms. Darlene Hodge, Yvonne Montalbano, Emily Leffler, okay, Dr. Guerin, and the members of the 50th Anniversary Committee for the wonderful food decoration. I mean, I really want to thank you for putting this celebration together, and please join me on a round of applause for them. The Faculty Senate of the University of Houston has had a very busy year. From our first meeting during the new Senate orientation in August to our last meeting that will happen in May, we will continue to address many areas of concern. Most importantly, this year we continue to address 2 very important legislative pieces coming out of Austin, SB 17, which deal with DEI, and SB 18, that deal with tenure. Okay. During the spring and the fall of 2023, the members of the Faculty Senate worked tirelessly with stakeholders at the university system and even at the state level to make sure that we minimize the impact of this legislation that really threaten the integrity of our profession, our academic freedoms, okay, and basically our professional careers. I want to especially thank Dr. Gehring, because during her work as a president and as a vice president, her leadership on these two items, not only at the university or the system, but even at the state level, make sure that we minimize the impact, especially of SB 18, which was supposed to basically eliminate completely tenure if you ever read the original document. And now, I mean, we do have post-tenure review, but because of her leadership at the state level, with many of the other universities, we minimize that impact. Thank you. The other legislation is SB 17. We deal with DEI, diversity, equality, and inclusion. And I want to thank President-elect Johnson, because under his leadership, we have a subcommittee that worked during the fall of 2023, revising almost every page in the UHD website to make sure that we're in compliance. But I really thank him because he was really courageous. And he said at one point, no, there is a red line. And no, we're not going to do this. And we're going to defend our right and academic freedom to talk about justice, equality, and inclusion. Thank you, Dr. Johnson. I'm a deep believer that we work best when we work together. Therefore, during my tenure, Faculty Senate worked really closely with the Office of the Provost on many tasks, like working on the workload, working on the faculty workload, annual faculty evaluation with a subcommittee that now is led by Dr. Ponder, okay? And obviously the commencement ceremony to make sure that we have input on that. I'm glad that we were able to assist. Although these areas are still work in progress, I really want to thank, Dr. Musali, who's now not with us, Dr. Ponder, Dr. Ryden, and the entire Provost Office for really finding the common ground to work on this issue. Thank you. Okay. Obviously during fall 2023, we still continue to do the transition to Canvas, and I really thank all the IT department, especially Mr. John Lane, for leading this effort. And we have successfully done that transition, so thank you very much. We should really applaud the IT department. They're wonderful. Okay, so there have been many areas of concern this year that the Senate addressed. And you know what? Resolutions are not pleasant. And sometimes they're really uncomfortable. But I think that resolutions sometimes are a valuable tool for the Senate to express their official stance. This year we passed two resolutions. Resolution 2024-02, which basically dealt with shared governance. Okay. Upon receiving a series of emails that said that there might be an implementation of a policy by executive decree, we basically did a resolution and we expressed our concern. Okay, we appreciate the response from Provost Bordelon to this resolution, affirming our commitment to shared governance. And to Provost Bordelon credit, I really appreciate that she pointed out the fact that this resolution, PS 03831, hasn't been revised in almost 10 years. So we created a subcommittee that is now led by Dr. Johnson, Ms. Emily Leffler, AVP Ryden, and Director of Compliance, Mix Christian Purdy, in revising this particular policy. I believe we're going to have something better in the future regarding this policy, and I thank them for their leadership. Food security is another issue that's been a personal concern of mine. And upon knowing this year that Charles was going to be our exclusive caterer, and the fact that we could only purchase only $100 and no more from outside caterer, we took a stance, and we did resolution 2301. We basically deal with that, okay? Our concern about food security and food availability in this particular campus. And I have to be grateful for the response of VP Kimberly Lambert Thomas. And I do appreciate some of the things that they have done, especially in the spring. Now we can pay $500 outside, okay? And I think that we appreciate that. I think when it comes to food availability, there's still more to come. But despite our contentions and despite our differences, I want to think that at the end we can come together and work as a team, okay? And really find a path forward. Another area of big concern for the Senate has been the mismanagement of the Office of Research and Sponsor Program. Okay, there's many issues that happen in this office. Mishandling of funds, meet deadline for submission and application and report, and the overall chaotic scene regarding compliance. And we did a resolution, 2024-001, which basically affirms the Senate belief that this is a vital office for our work, to support our research, to support our legacy. And although we still have a lot to do, I do want to thank the provost and the president for taking the stance in here and taking the measures to solve some of these problems. And even though there is a lot of work to do, I really appreciate that in this particular topic, issue, okay, we're working all together to restore the confidence that we lost in this office, that, to my opinion, it's been damaged. But I'm confident it will be restored. There were many other areas of work. We kept on working with IT department and Dr. Greg Dement when it comes to addressing our concerns of AI and the impact in the classroom. We keep on working with PDDC and VP Lambert Thomas to make sure that we address the current budget deficit situation. And we are working together with AVP Divya Bhatti to make sure that we have a successful, the senior affirmation of SAC-COC. As I say, 2023-2024 has been a very busy year for us. Our last climate survey reflects many concerns that we have. Moral issues, okay? Concerns about the gap between faculty payment and executive payment, issues of workload, and the overall atmosphere of the university after the pandemic, okay? But I'm committed as a senator and as a faculty member to make sure that I am the voice of the faculty while I'm serving the Senate. This may be my last time to address the Faculty Assembly. I want to say that it has been a great honor to serve you all. I want to thank all the senators for supporting me, every single one of you. I want to thank the wiser voices of the Faculty Senate Executive Committee that usually keep me grounded. Okay, I make sure that I don't make a fool of myself. Okay, especially Dr. Johnson. Okay, and I want to thank the incredible assistance that I received from Ms. Arlene Hodge, Emily Leffler, and Dr. Judy Condor. Without them, I don't know what I would do. I will always be indebted to President Blanchard and Provost Volerón for the vote of confidence that they put in me. And even though sometimes we have our tumultuous and moments of difference, I consider them valuable in my career. I also want to thank the entire UHD faculty for believing in me, a person whose doctors told my parents I would be a vegetable and I will not even be able to walk. Okay, by the way, it's gonna get better. Okay, if I'm the person that I'm today in my career, is because of all of you. I really want to say this. I've been in many places, and this is one of those few places that I really feel like we're family, some way, somehow. Okay. I want to leave everybody with something that my dad always says. My dad's been a manager and an all executive for over 60 years. He started really young. He always says, leaders are not those who direct orders or gloat in the sex. Leaders are those who help others excel and shine. And that's what I want to be. It's been an honor and a joy working with all of you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Pohl. Thank you so much for your service as Senate President this year. We look forward to still having you in FESEC next year. So the work is not done yet. So now I'd like to introduce our past Faculty Senate President and a good friend of mine, Dr. Krista Gehring. I've had the opportunity to watch her go from an assistant professor at UHD and move through the ranks to associate and now full professor. And I think she's won 2 out of the 3 faculty awards. So just give her another couple years and she will win the Triple Crown here. No pressure. But I really want to thank her because I was the one who suggested that she run for Senate President. I don't know why she listened to me, but here we are. And I said, if you do it, I would do it, so payback. All right, without further ado, Dr. Krista Gehring.
Hi, everyone. Oh, it is so good to see so many people here today. What a wonderful gathering and celebration of our faculty. For those of you who don't know me, like he said, my name is Krista Gehring, and my goal is to do the Grand Slam of UHD and win all 3. I don't know. So just wishful thinking, I'm sure. So I had the pleasure of being chair of the Faculty Awards Committee. What they don't tell you is like, here's the teaching award. Oh, by the way, you get to chair the committee. So it's one of those things that actually turned out to be a tremendous pleasure. We saw so many phenomenal, amazing applicants for each of the awards. And the people that were on the committee were awesome to work with. And I would like to actually, those of you who are on the committee, could you please stand up so that everyone could give you a round of applause. There was a lot of hard work and a pleasure to work with them. They made my job a lot easier. So, what I want to start out with, Susan Henney is actually listed as the presenter for the Adjunct Award. She unfortunately is ill, so I will step in her place because I'm flexible like that. And I will actually present the Adjunct Award as well as the Teaching Award towards the end of this. So first and foremost, as you can see, we only had one finalist for the Adjunct Award. And the finalist was Margaret Mata. And first of all, what I want to say is, as you know, adjunct instructors are very important here at UHD. They help cover classes that we often don't have enough full-time faculty to cover, or they may come in and teach in their area of expertise. They're knowledgeable, they're flexible, and extremely important individuals who contribute to the student success of our university. So an alumna of UHD, Margaret Mata, has been an adjunct professor for the Department of English since 2020. And she takes a student-centered approach in her teaching in multiple ways. For example, she provides her students the opportunity to take ownership of their learning activities and processes. She provides students a detailed written contract at the beginning of the semester that represents all the work they do throughout the course. And students have the opportunity to read, discuss, and agree to this coursework. I kind of like that idea. Students receive completion grades as opposed to letter grades and provided multiple opportunities to revise and resubmit assignments before receiving a completion grade. Margaret says, if a student is willing to keep revising, I'm happy to keep reading and giving feedback. Struggle is a sign of learning, not deficiency. My role is to help students understand the mistakes they're making, give them ideas about how to avoid or address those mistakes, and build their confidence to try again. Students echo this sentiment as they feel that Margaret really goes above and beyond to help them understand and improve. One student wrote in their student evaluation, "She's one of my favorite teachers, and as a professor, she does exceptional work for students and pushes them beyond their limits. She's always been there for every student and helped them with her best efforts." Another student commented, "This class made me not hate writing anymore." And I genuinely enjoyed the class periods. I learned so much, and the knowledge I gained will be invaluable to me in the future. Thank you for being such an amazing instructor. Your flexible deadlines coupled with immediate feedback motivated me to work harder and complete assignments before the deadline. Making an outline and writing small drafts really made a significant difference. I learned that a good instructor is all it takes. It's my pleasure to announce the winner of the 2024 Outstanding Adjunct Award is Margaret Mata. Unfortunately, Margaret is ill. So not only the person that was going to introduce her is ill, maybe they called each other, I don't know. But unfortunately, she is ill, so we'll just accept this upon her behalf. I feel like I'm at the Oscars. So, no, that's fine. So without further ado, I'm going to turn it over to my colleague San Sim to introduce the Outstanding Lecturer Award.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Sam Sen, and I'm a lecturer in the Department of Natural Science. I'm extremely honored to be here with you guys. I'm going to actually go off the cuff a little bit right at the beginning, and then I'm going to introduce the format. What we're going to do is we're going to have the 3 finalists in the outstanding lecturer category come up to the stage when I call their names. You will receive your awards, and then I will present the winning trophy to the winner of that group. Does that sound good? Everybody clear? I had a little bit written on all 3 of you, but I think we're going to go with just the winner today and for the sake of time. But okay, before I get started, I wanted to say a couple of things. We don't often get a chance to thank the committee, and I wanted to thank Dr. Krista Gehring for her leadership on this committee. I had a great time meeting people from within the university. I also realized the collegiality that exists among us across disciplines, across functions, and across different walks of life. We came together in so many different ways, and it was a real joy to be on that committee. Thank you. Before I mention the names of the 3 finalists, I wanted to say one thing. So I'd heard this little quote a little while ago, that we don't see things as they are, okay? We see things as we are. And that's just one word, if you change that, it is powerful. Because what we get to do as instructors and educators, we get to change and work on the lens that the student sees the world with. If we can make a positive impact on one student, that gets cascaded into the way they live, into their families, into their communities, into their classrooms. So I wanted to just say that this position, the lecturer position, allows the instructor to have that kind of role in the students' lives. And every single one of the finalists had comments of how caring they were, how in touch with their students they were, and that to me is, as someone said earlier, that's a great foundation for success going forward. Okay, so the 3 finalists. The first one, Dr. Vaishali Chaubal. She's not here? Okay, she is, Dr. Chaubal is a biology professor in the Department of Natural Science, and I will have somebody accept on her behalf, perhaps.
We can get the plaque too.
Okay, perfect. The next person I'd like to introduce is Dr. Zinat Mita. Dr. Mita is a senior lecturer in the Department of Arts and Communication Studies. And the third finalist is Dr. Albert de Jesus Rivera. Okay, and I get to announce the winner for the Outstanding Lecturer Award is Albert de Jesus Rivera. Albert. If I may, I wanted to just say a few words about Albert before he gets to the podium. Albert has served as lecturer and language lab coordinator, Department of Arts and Humanities, since 2015 after joining UHD in 2008. Over the last 2 years, he has also held the position of interim director, Center for Latino Studies, UHD, where he has been involved with numerous activities such as panel presentation on domestic violence and higher education in the Hispanic family, O'Kane Theater collaboration on set design on Dia de Muertos, altar for Much Ado About Nothing. I knew I would screw that up. Collaboration on set design. Okay, and then, sorry about that. Much Ado About Nothing panel presentation for UHD Afro-Latino students, UHD Voices of Afro-Latinidad, and so on. He has also authored short stories, a novel, and has numerous translations in progress and various conference papers. Dr. De Jesus has created conversational Spanish courses, U.S. Hispanic literature course, he redesigned courses, and he is into both in-person, online, and hybrid modalities. He took part in a pioneering canvas at UHD working with CTLE. He has participated in much service work. He's created a language lab tutor core for students to access tutoring and support. He established Spanish for Daily Communication initiative to establish UHD as a hub for community engagement and Spanish learning. He has served as faculty coordinator for the UHD Spanish Abroad in Costa Rica. This is a program that takes students academic and cultural immersion in Costa Rica and so on. After a long career as a research scientist, Dr. De Jesus made the transition into teaching. He quickly discovered his passion for love of literature and the language that nurtured it. The genuineness has triggered a positive impact in his students, and he refers to a part of his teaching philosophy as, when I stood in front of the class, the group in front of me did not represent students, but rather they reflected who I am and the journey that took me to that particular place and time. I'll just finish off with one student wrote that another set of Dr. De Jesus, that he is truly a great professor, constantly engages with his students and provides various methods for them to succeed, gives them meaningful and detailed feedback. And all throughout his students' feedback was the word caring as well. So congratulations, Dr. De Jesus Rivera.
If I just may say a few thank yous. Thank you for the committee. It's an outstanding job. I know it's an arduous and difficult job, what you did. Your commitment is an example to all of us. And it seems like time was interviewing for a job I already had. but it made me reflect on what I was doing, right? And it made me kind of look back at everything I was doing, and I'm tired of actually hearing the list of the things. But it was a wonderful experience. Thank you all for that. Thank you for the Spanish team for always thinking of me as an equal collaborator to the Spanish group and always counting on me to help out and thinking of me as an equal to the Spanish group. Thank you so much for that. Thank you, Dr. Jackson and Dr. Cesar Coreglin, for insisting that I do this and apply and submit my application for the Outstanding Lecturer Award. I said, no, I'm not going to win it. But thank you for insisting that I had the qualifications to at least try and apply for it. Thank you for my team at the Center for Latino Studies. I know SB17, as we were speaking before, it did a number on the Center for Latino Studies. And thank you for Dean VA for her leadership in allowing us to kind of keep everything that we had, keep our goals, keep our hopes, keep our fights. And we will continue to fight. We'll continue to keep our goals, continue to be a hope for our students to see what the future can be and see themselves reflected in what we do at the center. Thank you for my family who traveled from San Antonio and they're all sitting here, my brothers, my sister. I'm the youngest one of 7, and they always, they try to teach me all the things. They still don't believe that I'm a professor for some reason. So they always say, we're going to show up at one of your classes because we don't think that you're a professor. And if maybe you are, you might not be that good of a professor. So they want to see it. So I keep inviting them, please come over, and thank you for being here. Alex, Luis, Shelly, Rosaura, Richard, for being here and supporting me. Thank you, Martinisa, for your support. Thank you for thinking that every idea I have is great. They're not. But my life is so much better, and because I don't deserve to have a person like you in my life. Thank you so much for being in my life. And thank you to the 2 people in black in the front table. They're my daughter, Camila, my son, Christian, and they were with me since the beginning, right? I remember when I started teaching, and it was my turn to take care of them. And they would sit in the back of my classroom. They would be there, because it was my turn. And I said, well, if it's good enough for my students, it's good enough for my child, for my kids. And since they were little kids, they would sit in the back of my classrooms. And they're here still, so I wouldn't be here. And by all means, and you were talking about the reason that we do all this, and I never had a calling to be a professor. I was really happy in my little lab in a dungeon for 20 years doing science. But when I started teaching, I realized that it was not a calling, but if I could impact in any small, little, tiny way the life of a person by just patting their back and saying, hey, don't quit on this, you can do it, then that was my duty to be here. And that's what I do it for my students. So thank you, Alma, for being here. Thank you, my students, for being here. Hey, Maria. Thank you all for being here. Gracias.
Who's next on the lecture? Dr. Johnson, to the podium, please. Thank you. Thanks.
So next, we're going to have Dr. Sung Gae. She will present the nominees and the winner for the Excellence in Scholarly and Creative Activity Award.
Hello, everyone. It's very nice to see you. I'm Sung-ji. I'm assistant professor in nursing at UHD. When I won this award, the research award last year, I didn't know, so I didn't come up. So right now I'm very sad because look at how much happiness and applause and great food I have missed. I would cry in the middle of night today. So when I look at this year's candidate's profile, I was like, oh, how can I earn this award last time? Because they're so impressive. And it's just very difficult to give this award to a particular person because everybody has their strengths. And they came from different disciplines, the business, like English department, math, social work. It's just so hard to pick, impossible to pick the best among the best. The candidates have like external grant, have a lot of publications, and have like a lot of great research projects involving students. So this is a very difficult decision. And we look at many things, not only their scholarly productivity, but also their creative activities. So we try to get to a best decision as we can. And we have 3 great candidates for this award. The first one is Dr. Lisa Lin. I was very impressed. She has a personal story of pursuing her research trajectory. You know, her research trajectory is women's widowhood, their sexuality. And I saw her Facebook, you published a systematic review on this topic. So she is making steady progress on this direction. And she got a major external grant of $700,000 US. So that's very impressive. I saw she is really passionate about this her direction. I believe that she will continually making more progress in this research trajectory. And the second candidate is Dr. Steve Zhou. He is a professor in the School of Business, and he has published over 80 peer-reviewed publications, and he served as chair of major academic conferences in business, as he's very productive. And also we have another candidate who is Dr. Laura Aglin. Are you here, Laura Aglin? Yeah. She's a professor in English. And she won the award. She won this award. So let me briefly introduce her. Dr. Lauren Aglin has a multifaceted blend of roles. She is a scholar, a poet, a literary translator, a publisher, and a professor. Her academic pursuits are marked by rigorous scholarly research and the publication of insightful articles spanning the domains of literature and pedagogy. In addition to her scholarly endeavors, Dr. Aglin is a prolific poet and translator with a keen ability to traverse linguistic and cultural boundaries. As a publisher of a small independent press, Dr. Aglin curates and edits poetry and literacy translations while also providing valuable support through grant writing and consultation. Since joining UHD, Dr. Aglin's contribution to the literature landscape has been prolific and varied. Over the past 3 years, she has authored a book of poetry translated from Galician into English, produced two poetry chapbooks, and contributed numerous poems in both English and Spanish to various literacy magazines and anthologies. Additionally, her work as a translator has been seen in the publication of 28 poems translated from English and Galician into English. Beyond her creative output, Dr. Aglin has also demonstrated her pedagogy expertise through the publication of articles on teaching methodologies. Her dedication on scholarship, creative expression, and literacy advocacy underscore her significant impact within both academic and literacy spheres. So I'm so honored to present this award to her. Congratulations, Dr. Aglin. Congratulations.
So actually, it's Dr. Cesar Coeglin, but I'm a poet, so I'm going to keep this short. Short but deep. So I want to say thank you to the committee, and also thank you de corazón from the bottom of my heart to Anita Ray Chowdhury, Dr. Anita Ray Chowdhury, who nominated me, and Dr. Chuck Jackson, who supported me with a letter. Thank you so much. And also thank you to the chair of our department, Dr. Jill Hill. Thank you so much.
And
Go ahead.
I welcome Dr. Jonathan Chies to present the award for excellence in service.
Good afternoon, everyone. I will echo the sentiments of other persons on the committee that it's been an honor to serve on this committee. And it's also an honor to present the Excellence in Service Award. We had 3 excellent finalists for the Service Award. And in following suit, I will invite each person to come up. First, we have Dr. Ronald Beebe. Dr. Ron Beebe has served in several leadership positions at UHD. His service as a leader stands out. He has served multiple terms as the chair for the Department of Education and as president of the Faculty Senate. As a Faculty Senate leader, he helped develop the university's response to the COVID-19 pandemic. He has served multiple terms as chair of the University Curriculum Committee. He has served as a member of 4 university senior administration position search committees. He served on a variety of departmental, college, and university committees. Beyond his university and departmental service and leadership, he has worked with the Houston Teacher Pipeline Community of Practice, the Texas Education Agency, and the State Board of Education to support and improve teacher preparation and accreditation processes. Let's give it up for Dr. Beebe for his distinguished service. I welcome Dr. Travis Crone. Dr. Crone has a distinguished service record. His attitude towards service at UHD is, I quote, having the right people in the right positions to accomplish the work of the university. He has been routinely appointed to and elected to several service positions at UHD at the university, college, and departmental level. He has served on the admissions criteria committee, the faculty grievance committee, multiple search committees, associate professor support working group, faculty and staff compensation committee, and the impact learning advisory committee. And that's not all. I don't have enough time. Dr. Crone especially values his role as a CHS pre-tenure faculty mentor, where he gets to talk to new faculty about the importance of service. He says, and I quote, he is trying to promote an attitudinal shift from service being done extrinsically for annual reviews and for rank and tenure portfolios, to one where we take on intrinsically motivated service roles that utilize our skills and allow us to have voices in the decision-making processes at UHD. At the current, I have tried to pass this idea forward. So that is right on Dr. Crone. Let's give it up for his distinguished service. And last but not least, I welcome Dr. Heather Goltz to the stage. All of these candidates had distinguished service, and it was very challenging for the committee to determine who would be the winner. But as Dr. Goltz comes forward, I want to recognize her as the recipient of the Distinguished Excellence in Service Award. Dr. Goltz views service as contributing to the public good. Her vision of service is guided by her social work professional ethics and values. The primary mission of the social work profession is to enhance human well-being and help meet the basic human needs of all people, with special attention to those who are most vulnerable. As with all of our finalists, Dr. Goltz has served on several committees at the university, college, program, and departmental levels, including but not limited to the Strategic Planning Committee, the University Curriculum Committee, the Faculty Awards Committee, the APC and Human Subjects Committee, and the Faculty Senate. Besides a distinguished service track record at the university, she has been committed to active civic engagement and support of mental behavioral health care of Houston's most vulnerable. In the past 5 years, she provided almost 5,000 hours of sliding scale and pro bono psychotherapy and paid direct oncology social work services, primarily to adults living with chronic mental behavioral health challenges and adult cancer patients and their caregivers. She has served as a director of education for the Association of Oncology of Social Work. She has served on advisory boards and working groups for large national and international nonprofits, including the Association of Community Cancer Centers and the Cancer Support Community. She has contributed to town halls, podcasts, and webinars on prostate cancer, and served as a social worker at MD Anderson. On top of her service to the university and the academy, her service to vulnerable populations, vulnerable persons suffering with cancer truly stands out. Congratulations, Dr. Holt.
In the interest of time, I will try to make this brief, but I'm Southern, so I'm apologizing in advance. First and foremost, I'd really like to thank the Reverend Dr. Ron Beebe and also Dr. Crone. From the very first time that I started at UHD 13 years ago, Travis was actually one of the first people I met at UHD, and Ron I met when we first moved from social work from CHSS to CPS. Service is a pleasure, service is a pain, service is a calling, service is a debt that we owe to each other and society. I take a lot of pleasure even in the pain that service can bring with it. But I never forget the debt that I owe as a social worker, as a faculty member, as my grandparents' grandchild. During the civil rights era, my grandfather elected to drive construction crews to Mississippi so that he would not break the bus boycott that was happening in Baton Rouge, that the families of the men who worked with him would still have income as the women were losing their jobs as domestic workers for observing the bus boycott. He slept on the floor next to my father's bed rather than pay money for a cot. My father was born with cerebral palsy and had many operations in the course of his life. And my grandfather, to save money for those operations and to eventually help found a CP clinic back home, slept on the floor. Even though the money was coming in, my grandmother was working as a social worker, and they made this sacrifice, not just for my father, not just for the family, but for the other children who needed those services back home. So my family, from the very time I was old enough to carry a can, so service starts early in my family. From the time you're old enough to carry a can, you can, one can at a time, contribute to donations to the food bank. You can bring cloth as people are sewing blankets to give to folks less fortunate. And that's where I come from. What I will say now that I've joined the Academy and been a member of the Academy for many years and had a much more privileged life than anyone in my family ever could have dreamed is this. We owe it to each other to serve, not blindly, not uncritically, but we do owe it to each other to come together at all times and be of service so that this community that we are creating here can grow and prosper and be protected. And so I call on everyone, service can, with a big S, service with a little s. It really doesn't matter so much as you serve and you contribute to this great academic experiment that we have here. Because I can promise you I've been at a number of universities as a student, because I'm always in school, but also as an employee. And UHD is very special. So let us all not lose hope, even when times are dark. Let us draw strength from each other, and let us come together and serve. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Goltz. And now I'd like to introduce Dr. Krista Gehring to announce the finalists for the Excellence in Teaching Award.
I'll just bookend this part of the ceremony. So we had some phenomenal applicants for this award. We have phenomenal finalists for this award, and I would like to call each one up, starting with Dr. Anthony Foster. Our first finalist, Dr. Anthony Foster, is an assistant professor in the psychology department in this, assistant professor of psychology in the social sciences department. The committee was very impressed with his use of active learning techniques in his classes, and students state that he's an engaging, inclusive, and motivating instructor. For example, one student wrote in their student evaluation, "Best class I had this semester. Even though it was hard for me, I still enjoyed going and I wanted to do well in it because of Dr. Foster. He was energetic, knowledgeable, funny, very precise, organized, and on time," which I'm glad you're on time. "My class was full every week. Students did not miss this class. The majority of us interacted with him when he asked questions. Me personally, I don't like speaking in front of a large group. However, I was comfortable speaking in this class. I wish to God my other professors were a little like him." So, nice. Our second finalist for the Excellence in Teaching Award is Dr. Andrew Pavlich. Andrew is a professor of philosophy in the Department of History, Humanities, and Languages. In the classes he teaches, he brings his own enthusiasm and love of philosophy to his students and help them find their own answers to the various philosophical questions that the classes asks. He loves being in the classroom and the opportunity for a spontaneous discussion about philosophical matters fuels his love for teaching in addition to inspiring his students. I will say that when he did his teaching presentation, we had a very robust discussion about what is moral. So that was, I love that you can just throw things out in class, and that just sort of brings about really interesting class discussion. One student in their evaluation stated, "This was my first time taking a philosophy class, and I'm amazed at how much I liked it. I enjoyed coming to class every time and talking about the books, especially Descartes. Dr. Pavlich inspired me to take more philosophy classes. I'm so grateful I was able to take my first philosophy class with him. He explained the content so well that made it easy to understand." So nice. And the final finalist is Dr. Godwin Agbaka. Godwin is a professor of technical and professional communication in the Department of English, and I will say that he is actually the winner of the Excellence in Teaching Award at UHD. The committee was very impressed by all of the activities Godwin engages in, including his inclusive and transparent teaching and learning practices, his innovative curriculum design, his diverse teaching experiences across universities, delivery modes and semesters, his contributions to curriculum development, and his mentorship of students. His courses prepare students for workplace writing and careers in medical writing, grant writing, science writing, business writing, legal writing, project management, and intercultural communication. These courses also empower students to consider the social justice implications of their work while providing them with job-ready skills for the contemporary workplace. This social justice goal is heavily influenced by his scholarship and demonstrates a strong connection between his teaching and his research. Now, this social justice piece was especially intriguing to me personally, as I was not aware how this could be incorporated into technical writing, of all things. But Godwin educated me and the rest of the committee how a course he teaches like social justice issues and technical communication and professional communication educates students about the role technical communication plays in legitimizing and sustaining injustice and oppression. That technical communication, which is often understood as objective or straightforward or neutral, is still wrapped up in and impacted by things like bias, politics, and individual experiences and belief. Godwin's passion for the subject translates into student success. One student wrote in their evaluation, Dr. Agbaka is clearly passionate about the subject matter and genuinely invested in his students' learning experiences. His enthusiastic approach to teaching makes the material come alive and has definitely helped me stay engaged and motivated. Additionally, his willingness to go above and beyond in providing resources, constructive and comprehensive feedback, as well as support outside of the classroom is truly commendable. Overall, students have the opportunity to learn from such a dedicated and talented professor. Another student wrote, during Dr. Agbaka's medical AI writing class, I gained exposure to social issues that helped me understand myself beyond my image. I researched and wrote about medical chat GPT, the safe use of artificial intelligence, an ADA grievance artifact from Memorial Hermann Hospital, and America's fentanyl problem. Dr. Agbaka encouraged me to push beyond established limits and develop my ideas while teaching me to be patient with my classmates on group projects. Dr. Agbaka is an exceptional professor who prioritizes organization and diplomacy. His dedication and attention to detail make him an invaluable asset to his students. Moreover, he expects high-quality standard of work from his students, and next semester will be my third class with him. So join me in congratulating Dr. Agbaka for.
So thank you so much. I would like to begin by thanking the awards committee for finding my materials worthy of this award. I have to admit that when I joined UHD the first year, I've said it elsewhere, that my teaching here was a disaster. So the chair of my department was so scared she thought I was going to leave the university. But then I still never had the impression that UHD was the wrong place for me. I thought it was the right place. So I needed to just apply myself. And so I appreciate all the support that I received from the English department and all the things they did for me. So thank you for that. It is an honor, honestly, to be in this illustrious company with Dr. Pavlich and Anthony Foster, and I appreciate that. Now, let me also say that I appreciate all the blessings that I've had at UHD. UHD has been very good to me. And all the little blessings that I get every day, I'm so appreciative of. I'm grateful for this honor and thankful for all those who have supported my professional career. And I thank the English department, or the institution that is the English department. We get a lot of, flack for a lot of things we do, but then we have some supportive people within the department. And I also thank my students who have provided feedback along the way over the years. So permit me to mention some names and thank them, for what they've done. I want to single out Sandy Dahlberg for your unwavering, support throughout the years. You've been very good to me. And I thank Nell Sullivan, who always pushes me to apply for every award available. So each time there's an award, she calls and said, Godwin, apply for this award because you deserve it. And then Tammy Thomas for your words of encouragement. I'm never wrong in her eyes. Everything I do is good as far as Tamis is concerned, and I appreciate that. Paul Kingsley for being my PR, in the university. I thank you, Jill Hale. You're doing a wonderful job as the interim chair of the English department. And Mike Duncan, who is not here, Mike has made me a better teacher scholar. So, look, I'm very grateful for this award. And finally, let me say that I never imagined that I'll win an award in a teaching university such as UHD. And here's why. In my estimation, probably half of the things I say, my students probably don't understand because of my thick accent. And I know the English department, thank you for understanding me over the years. I appreciate all that you've given me. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Ogboka. So now we're going to move on to the Distinguished Faculty Award, and I'd like to call up Dr. Sam Shee to announce that award. Is Sam here? Going once? Going twice? How do you want to handle this? Two. That's it. All right. I'm going to wing it. All right, so we have two nominees for the Distinguished Faculty Award, and just to give you some context, this is an award we started about 5 or 6 years ago based upon a batch of money that was set aside to start collecting interest for like 20 years. And we had to wait for this to mature to the point where we could begin drawing down money to make this award and still allow it to be solvent. So we had to, once we found out we had the money for this, we had to come up with what are the criteria for the awards, how would it be presented, how would it be judged. And so it's been interesting to see how this award has evolved over the years. And every year as the awardees are and the nominees are announced, I'm stunned by the faculty who are nominated for this award because they are all very distinguished. But in the interest of choosing one, we have a committee that has to make a decision. So this year we have two nominees. The first is Dr. Godwin Ogboka from the Department of English. There's probably not much I could say about Dr. Ogboka other than what he's already said. So, and our second nominee is Dr. Wendy Lawrence from Arts and Communication. So here's what they don't tell me. They don't tell me who won. Yeah. Yeah, would you like to? Next slide. Oh, hey, look at that. I would like to present the award to Dr. Wendy Lawrence from Arts and Communication.
Thank you so much for this honor. I want to thank the awards committee, and it is a different awards committee than the other awards, so maybe they could stand up too and be acknowledged if there is some. I know at least a few people are here, so thank you. As everyone has talked about, it's an incredibly daunting job to evaluate so much amazing work that's so different from each other, but yet also important. So thank you, it's such an honor. I want to thank my partner and my family. 17 years as of Sunday, and my girls could not be here because they are STAR testing, which is sad for more than one reason. I want to thank UHD for 22 incredible years. I truly believe I would not be here for 22 years if I didn't believe this, that this is the best place to be a faculty member. What I love about UHD is our innovative spirit. We haven't gotten so big that we wrap ourselves in bureaucratic tape. And in fact, Tufts University came to UHD and they were trying to figure out why we have such high voting rates when we control for race and gender with our students. And that was one of their findings, is that we have this innovative spirit that lacks this red tape, which allows us to be nimble and develop civic agency. So I'm really grateful for that, and I love that so much. Nobody ever achieves anything alone, and of course, there's so many people at UHD that I'm grateful for. I'm gonna thank everyone afterwards, but I've been here 22 years, so that's like a lot of people to thank, right? So I founded the Center for Public Deliberation 17 years ago. A CPD not only designs deliberations, communities we serve, but for communities we serve, but also we serve as a resource for those who seek to implement processes and deliberative processes, change processes in their communities and organizations. And over the years, we have found through multiple studies, our own and others' work, that our work improves decision-making across diverse interests and people, and it increases our students' civic agency. And we're really proud of that work. So I'm thankful for all the faculty, administrators, staff, and students who believed not only in CPD's vision, but also the importance of faculty-inspired centers. And I'm also thankful, there were so many people who helped start this, but then there's so many people that help continue to do this work. From the staff that help the business side and the logistics, and who show up and send emails about how grateful they are for the experiences. I'm thankful for administrators and faculty who continue to work hard on the vision, Dean BA and Chair Dr. Rajai, who are always championing the vision. Numerous faculty, I just go through, have worked with me over the years. We've learned collaboratively. I've worked with every college in the university what public deliberation relevance is in all these disciplines across UHD. So thank you for that, because it's not only made my work better, it's made me a better educator. So I'm indebted to you all. I'm thankful to CPD's Assistant Director, Dr. John Roundtree. He brings so much energy and passion to this work. I can't imagine a better partner, because he makes every day so much fun. And if you get to believe in the work you do, be passionate about the work you do, and have fun, then you've found an amazing career. And then finally, I'm so grateful to my students. I get to teach, and they really make me a better educator and person every single year. So thank you very much.
So next, I'm going to invite Dr. William Waters to come up to present the University-Funded Faculty Leave Awards.
Hello, I'm Dr. Waters from the English department. And before I begin, I'd like to ask anyone that was on the FFL committee to stand up, just to give them recognition. I think I saw at least a few people. Perhaps not. Okay, nobody's here. I'm not going to read all of the comments about their projects, because they're already in the program. I'm going to call up all of the winners one by one, and then we can celebrate them all. Dr. Kristen Anderson. Dr. Susan Henney, I think she's not here today. Dr. Yuhan Hung. Dr. Danya Serrano. And Dr. Xiaoming Wang.
Now I'd like to call up Dr. Judith Quander. She's going to announce the Faculty Development Awards and the Organized Research and Creative Activity Awards.
Okay, well, I'm not going to announce all the awardees because there's a lot, which is great, but the names will be on the slides and they're also in the program. Faculty Development Award is an award for faculty for their professional development and teaching, scholarship, or service. In the past few years, the number of applications had dropped, I think because of COVID, but this year we made up for it. And we were able to award a total of 32 awards for a total of $130,000. So it's good. Projects included attending the First Year Experience Conference, conferences on AI, and conferences on supporting non-traditional college students. Anybody from the committee here, please stand to be recognized. And Dr. Peter Lee is the chair of the committee and did an amazing job. Okay, no one wants to stand up, that's okay. Anybody in the audience who is a winner of Faculty Development Awards, would you please stand up? Be recognized. So Organized Research and Creative Activity Award is awarded to faculty to support scholarship endeavors. The chair of that committee is John Roundtree, and he led the committee in selecting awardees this year. So anybody from that committee, and John, who I see, please stand and be recognized. It's a lot of work. Yes, and I will say John did a really good job this year helping provide feedback to people who didn't win, which I think is a huge contribution to the faculty, so thank you for that. This year we awarded 21 awards for a total of $111,000. We had projects on the insect life cycle, concrete strength tests, childhood cancer, and the impacts of the Russian-Ukrainian war on the economy, so very, very interesting projects. Okay, and now I'm going to turn it over to, oh, I'm sorry, yes, oh goodness, any of the Orca winners in the audience, please stand to be recognized. I'm so sorry. Oh, yes, I apologize. Okay, now I turn it over to Provost Bordelon to do the recognition of faculty years of service.
Thank you so much, Dr. Quander. You know, what makes a university vibrant is looking at, all of our faculty and staff together. And we have new faculty and staff who join us every year, but we have faculty and staff who have that longevity, that institutional knowledge. And today what we're going to do is honor those who have 20 years or more, though I know, we have individuals who may be celebrating their 5-year anniversary, their 10-year anniversary, 15-year anniversary, and everything in between. And again, let's give them all a round of applause. When I call your name, please come up, and we're going to start with the 20 years of service. John Aoki. And John is the associate professor in the Department of Natural Sciences. Dr. Young-Sha Chan, who is a professor in the Department of Mathematics and Statistics. Dr. Jean Prowse, who is an associate professor in Department of History, Humanities, and Languages. Dr. Edwin Takero, who's an associate professor, Department of Mathematics and Statistics, and a wonderful singer. Dr. Rahul Verma, who is a professor in the Department of Finance and Information Systems. We had a slight snafu. No, the awards have not come in yet, so we are honoring and we appreciate the service, and we will be personally presenting the awards. Okay. All right. And then Dr. Shengli Yuan, who is a professor in the Department of Computer Science and Engineering Technology. Let's give all of our faculty who are celebrating their 20 years anniversary at UHD a round of applause. Okay, for 25 years of service, we have Dr. Winning Feng, who is a professor in the Department of Computer Science and Engineering Technology. Dr. Nancy Lopez, who's a senior lecturer in the Department of History, Humanities, and Languages. Dr. Playman Simonov, who's a professor in the Department of Mathematics and Statistics. Dr. Jung Mi Yoon, professor, Department of Mathematics and Statistics. Dr. Vasilis Zafaris, who is an associate professor in the Department of Mathematics and Statistics. I think the Department of Mathematics and Statistics wins the award for today. Okay. All right, let's give all of our faculty who are celebrating 25 years of service a round of applause. Okay, 30 years of service. Impressive. We have Professor Bonnie Blumberg, who is a lecturer in the Department of Mathematics and Statistics. Dr. Catherine Howard, Senior Lecturer, Department of English, and Interim Director, University Honors Program. Okay, let's give our 30-year recipients a round of applause. Okay. 35 years. All right. Dr. Susan Baker, professor, Department of Arts and Communication. "40 years. Dr. Samuel Penkar, professor, Department of Finance and Management Information Systems. Professor Sangeeta Gad, Senior Lecturer, Department of Mathematics and Statistics. And Dr. Darshan Wadhwa, Professor, Department of Accounting and International Business. Let's give a vibrant round of applause for our faculty who are celebrating 40 years at UHD.
All right, we've come to the close of our program, so I'm going to do this in reverse. If you won an award today, please stay behind so that we can get some pictures. Please don't run out of the room. And then finally, take a moment just to appreciate the breadth of achievement that was presented today. It is staggering how much can be accomplished in the name of our students, in the name of forwarding our scholarship, and in the name of service to each other. And just try and hold on to that as you move through the end of the semester. This can be a tough time. We're all tired. But if we can take a moment and just appreciate the phenomenal colleagues that we work with, it'll get you through the day, I promise. So with that, I want to thank everybody for attending. I want to thank all the nominees and the winners for being such excellent role models to our students and, more importantly, to us. You keep us going every day. Just understanding how much you put in makes us want to do better. So thank you all very much. I hope you have a great rest of the semester.
They can take care of it.